It's debate night here in Atlanta on Scripps News, and President Biden and Donald Trump are virtually tied in several recent polls. That means every single vote counts. Both candidates want to bring in independents and Nikki Haley voters to their side. Trump, you might remember, also tried to win over libertarians. He went to their convention. He spoke last month, but didn't go over that well.
Now I think you should nominate me or at least vote for me, and we should win together. Keep getting your 3% every 4 years.
Lots of skepticism in the crowd there. Libertarians did not choose RFK or Trump as their nominee. They chose instead Chase Oliver as their presidential candidate, and he joins us live tonight. Chase, thank you for being here. You are slightly younger than the men who will be on that stage. You're 38. They're not 38. How should age be addressed tonight?
Well, I think if you look at what the American voters are wanting in their candidate for president, they want somebody who is younger than the age of in their late 70s or early 80s. And I'm somebody who's able to provide voters a younger voice, somebody who's actually grown up in this economy, who's living in this economy right now as a guy who's just around the age of 40. And so, I think I have a little bit more realism and a little bit more relation to the average voter than the life experiences of Donald Trump or Joe Biden. And that's just an example of the fact that the people who were in charge of Washington, D.C. when I was in high school are still in charge of Washington, D.C. today, and I think voters are sick and tired of that.
Libertarians kind of do their own thing. You're known for that. You have your own priorities. Even within your group, you have your own priorities. What would you say is the number one thing that you would challenge these candidates on tonight if you were there?
Well, I think the number one thing that we can challenge both Donald Trump and Joe Biden on is their mismanagement of the economy. The fact that both of them have added trillions of dollars to our national debt. That's devaluing our dollar through inflation and through the practices of our Congress and of our presidents. Is the fact that they keep printing trillions of dollars a year. And that makes it harder for each and every one of us to make ends meet. It means when we go to the grocery store, less and less is filling up the cart for the same amount of money, and that's because of the inflationary practices of both Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So if I were on the stage, I would be asking them why they felt the need to sell out my generation, the generations that follow me, for political expediency today.
Affordability, no doubt an issue. What would you want them to do? Because libertarianism, as I understand it, is more laissez-faire. You don't want a ton of government intervention.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we believe that the government intervention itself adds to the cost of living. When you add regulation, when you add, costly, requirements and things like this to our business, it makes the cost of living go up. So this is why we're laissez-faire. This is why we believe the free market should be making these determinations. I trust the trillions of market decisions that individual consumers make far more than the central planning of 435 members of Congress and a president in Washington, D.C. I think I can trust the American people more, and I think they trust themselves more than policymakers do.
So, Mr. Oliver, Jill Stein and RFK Jr., they were on this show. We talked, and they told me they filed complaints saying they were excluded intentionally from tonight's debate. Do you believe the campaigns colluded with CNN illegally?
I don't know if they colluded illegally, but what I do know is that this is par for the course for presidential debates for my entire adult life, is the fact that the two-party system excludes other voices from the process. And frankly, I believe I should be on that stage. And I don't have any problem with RFK or Jill Stein joining me on that stage. I think more choices and more voices is actually better for the American consumer. We don't want to be living in a political world where it's just Coke versus Pepsi. We want to have more than two choices. And I think CNN's doing wrong, and they're, it's going to be a detriment to their ratings that they don't have more choices on stage, because I guarantee you, if you had RFK, me, and Jill Stein on stage, a lot more people would be paying attention.
I don't know.
Well, I just had on former Governor Bob Kerrey, who was saying so many things are not going to be asked about that should be asked about. And among the top concerns out there for Americans, according to Gallup, they track this every single year: cost of living, immigration, abortion, poverty. How would a hands-off libertarian approach fix something like that for an everyday American saying, that's my number one issue?
Yeah, well, the Libertarian Party's philosophy is to let the government be hands-off in those issues, let you control the determination of your own life. As far as abortion, I'm pro-choice. Make your own choices with those matters. As far as immigration, we know there's a crisis at our southern border, but it's not that immigrants want to come here and work and start their American dream. It's that we have a broken government process at the southern border. We could simplify and streamline that process. And with regards to, how we handle poverty, libertarians, they want to help the poor too. They just know that government is a horrible, horrible a way to help these people. You know, I trust in mutual and direct aid in my communities. If we could give our tax money back to individuals and they could find out ways to help people in their own community because they know the needs of their community. That's why central planning fails, and that's why liberty is a great thing. That's why decentralizing our politics is good for the Americans voter. It's good for the American community. It's good for all Americans altogether.
Okay, yeah, and again, it comes down to, so many times you hear this stuff, sounds good on paper, in sound bites, how does it work in the real world? Let me ask you this super quick, because I know we are running out of time. Democrats are split over Gaza, Republicans split over Trump, Libertarians are split over drag queens and trans issues, which you supported. What happened to cohesion?
Well, here's the thing. Libertarians, at the end of the day, we support your right to live your life as you see fit. That means there's going to be more conservative members of the party, more liberal members of the party. But really, at the end of the day, it's up to you to determine what you do. And I think people can determine their own behavior just fine. I don't believe in a culture war. I believe in a cultural ceasefire. And I think that's what we need to get back to in our politics, is not having our politics determine our culture.
Libertarian presidential candidate Chase Oliver, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, we got to take a very quick break here in the spin room. Some surrogates showing up.